Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Fred Razak at CMtrading. Today is April 29th, 2021, and today is Thursday morning. So looking at the highlights of the day, the FOMC coming out with a rate statement. The market's just absorbing the FOMC statement. Now looking at the major economic events of the day, starting out at 2:30 South African time, out of the United States, we have a quarterly GDP numbers coming out, and then throughout the morning, we will have Amazon reporting on quarterly earnings. That's a very important factor. Now, looking at the various markets, starting out with the currencies, US dollar loses ground versus the Canadian dollar and the GBP, while the euro remains a bit unchanged. And looking at the indices, the NASDAQ on its high and Dow Jones trickling lower. In terms of commodities, oil continues to gain while we have a mixed bag when it comes to the stocks. And lastly, looking at Bitcoin, continues to gain as well. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So we're going to start out with the Canadian dollar. As you can see at a weekly chart, okay, which is really a much larger time frame, we could see that it's testing this 1.23-ish level and really teasing us. Really, the support level is 121.22. So if that does break, we'll see a massive correction for the Canadian dollar versus the USD, as this has really been usually at 1-to-1, okay? For a very long time, it's 1-to-1, but you could see here that it's actually gaining some pace for quite some time, but it does have to break this 123-ish level to continue to this 121. Now, looking at the GBP, didn't break out, but it is testing our upper range here, okay? Rallying back to this 139.53. Is it changing character? It may very well be that it's changing its character, but when we look at the Euro USD, didn't do much, okay? If we look at a 4-hour chart, yeah, it rallied a little bit, but tapering off here. So maybe we're watching the GBP actually turn some character and getting a little bit stronger. Mentioning to this, okay, in addition to this, as we look at the euro right now, it's still in an upwards momentum. It's still in a trending upwards momentum. So just keep that in mind as it's making higher highs. Now, looking at the commodities, starting out at gold, not doing much here, okay, 1778, really in a tight range, $5 range. So I didn't mention it this morning. And looking at oil, challenging that 64-ish dollar, getting very close to that $64.50. So something to consider today. If it does break above it, that's a very important level. Now, looking at the Dow Jones, we trickled down yesterday. Okay, we had a massive sell-off, as you can see here, from 34,000 down to 33,600. A nice 400-point move. And then a rally backwards, okay? This is that fade opportunity that I always speak about in the webinars, where there's initial reaction and then there's a correctional move. However, we're about midway to that, okay? But just off of our highs. But when we look at the NASDAQ, on its dead highs, okay? So this could still break out higher above that 14,000-ish level if we consider the Amazon news that's coming out today. So let's take a look at Amazon first on its dead highs. 34.51 as we're at that top range. Facebook rallying back yesterday after it came out with earnings, and Apple as well, just at that top of the range, but not selling off. Okay, that's what's really important here. Now, looking at the big board stocks like Alcoa on its highs, but not breaking out lower. So we see some momentum there as well. Now, lastly, looking at Bitcoin, okay, rallying back to that 54-ish level, but not tapering off too much. So this may be a lower high here. Just keep that in mind. If that is the case, maybe we'll see this actually push that higher, okay? With that said, just be aware of it. We are trading within the two moving averages that I'd like to really, take into consideration. 8-day and 30-day moving average, really important when you're looking at specific items. This is Fred Razak. I want to wish everybody a great trading day. Thank you.